Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 tango dance scenes in movies. For this list, we'll be looking at the best cinematic renditions of the sultry South American dance featuring couples or groups. The only criterion? It has to be a tango. Which intimate dance scenes give you goosebumps? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. Number 20, Tango Maureen, Rent. Mark and Joanne aren't exactly the best of friends, but they do have one thing in common: Maureen.
Honey, I know this act. It's called the Tango Maureen. The Tango Maureen.
She's Mark's ex and Joanne's current girlfriend, but she has a tough time staying faithful to anyone. In this cathartic dance, the two connect over their shared trouble. When Joanne drops Mark and he hits his head, he has a vision of a room full of dancers, including Maureen bouncing from one partner to another.
Her grip of romance makes you fall, so you think might as well
dance a tango to hell.
At least I'll have tangoed at all.
The whole thing is passionate and truly gorgeous from a dance and narrative standpoint. By the end, Mark feels like he's gotten a weight off his chest.
Why do we love when she's mean?
And she can be so obscene. My Maureen.
Joanne's problems, meanwhile, are just starting, but at least the number was fun. Number 19, Waltz for Ava Che, Evita. One of the most beloved but controversial figures in Argentina's history, Ava Perón's life was short and tumultuous. Throughout this musical biopic, she's followed by a narrator, Che, who initially plays a more antagonistic role, trying to convince the audience that she wasn't a genuine hero.
How can you claim you're our savior when those who oppose you are stepped on or cut up or simply disappear?
In this unique version of a tango waltz, the two spar over Perón's role as a political figure.
Before joining the forgotten brigade, how can one person like me say, alter the time-honored way the game is played?
Part dance, part argument, the scene makes it clear that ultimately, both of their hearts are in the right place. You can also see how magnetic their relationship is through their movement, since they can't stay away from each other for too long. It's compelling stuff, to put it mildly. Number 18, Unlikely Partners, Easy Virtue. Marrying a wealthy Englishman and living on a lavish estate might sound like a fantasy to some. Instead, Larita finds herself bored and lonely as her husband John draws away from her and her mother-in-law is rude and condescending.
Please, dance with me.
The only person she connects with is John's father, Jim. In this climactic scene, John snubs Larita at a soiree, but Jim steps in to take his place. The two perform an intimate tango in front of everyone, including the rest of the family. The chemistry between them is obvious, and they don't care who notices. Needless to say, our eyes are glued to the screen.
Marvelous!
Number 17, Liber Tango, the tango lesson. When you find yourself dissatisfied with life, a tango lesson might be just the thing to snap you out of it. After Sally witnesses Pablo dancing, she can't stop thinking about the tango, or him. She convinces him to teach her, which leads to a series of gorgeous, intense dance scenes. Their number on a foggy night might be the most romantic one. But the Liber Tango, with multiple partners, is definitely the most creative and unique. step feels deeply intentional, and they come together seamlessly to tell a story that's as captivating as they come. Pablo Verón is one of the most celebrated tango dancers in the world, and this is proof of why. Number 16, introducing The Tango, the story of Vernon and Irene Castle. There's no more iconic dancing duo than Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. This was one of the last films they made together, so by this point the two could probably synchronize their moves in their sleep. Based on the real lives of a star-dancing couple of the silent film era, this scene in particular gives Astaire and Rogers plenty of opportunity to show off their legendary harmony. In it, they demonstrate the tango for an audience in Europe, while getting a chance to put their own unique spin on the innovative dance. We expect a lot from such pros, and they find a way to blow us out of the water with the utmost elegance at every turn. Number 15, opening credits, The World's Greatest Lover. In the early 20th century, Rudolph Valentino was one of the hottest stars of the silver screen. Determined to create a headliner of their own to rival him, Rainbow Studios holds a contest to find the next world's greatest lover in this film. The unlikely frontrunner is Rudy Hickman, played by the incomparable comedic genius Gene Wilder. In a dream sequence during the opening credits of the film, Wilder performs a parody of a famous tango scene starring the real Valentino. Although the dance is usually known for being sensuous and romantic, Wilder proves that in the right hands, it can also be hilarious. Number 14, Tango Ballad, Mac the Knife. Macheath might be a liar and a criminal, but he's also irresistibly charming. In this scene, he and his former lover reminisce about their time together via tango in exquisite fashion, while other duos dance around them. Raul Julia had already mastered the role of Mac a decade earlier, delivering a Tony-nominated turn in the stage musical, the Threepenny Opera on Broadway. This dance is proof he never lost his touch.
Oh, happy time, and now it's all gone by. Until we quit each other.
After all, it's the epitome of what tango should be: intimate, sensual, and a little dangerous. Our only complaint has to be that it doesn't last nearly long enough.
It looked like soon I might be taking care of her.
Did you suppose that it was all my private plan? You left me flat.
Number 13, La Cumbresita, Some Like It Hot. After seeing a murder unfold, Joe and Jerry are on the run. Dressing up in drag to conceal their identities, they become part of a band composed of women that's headed out of town. The only thing is that Jerry ends up really committing. Posing as Daphne, he catches the eye of a rich man named Osgood, who's determined to win over the new girl in town.
Let's go there, blindfold the orchestra and tango till dawn.
You know something, Mr. Fielding?
What?
You're dynamite.
You're a pretty hot little firecracker yourself.
When he and Osgood go out dancing, they end up tangoing all night. By the wee hours of the morning, Jerry actually seems to be enjoying himself.
Daphne, you're leading again.
Sorry.
With minimal dialogue, the scene relies on actors Jack Lemmon and Joe E. Brown's incredible physical comedy. It more than delivers, drawing us in from start to finish. Number 12, Prison Tango, Tango Libre. Tango is freedom. It's right there in this 2012 movie's title. As tango spreads through the prison, it provides those inside with an outlet for creativity and self-expression. In a way, it provides the inmates with a sweet taste of freedom. As two men demonstrate the moves, their only music is the clapping and stomping of their fellow inmates. But really, that's all we need. By the end, even the more skeptical onlookers find themselves captivated by the tango. It goes without saying, but we're right there with them. Number 11, Silent Tango, the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. It's amazing how much feeling can be conveyed with no dialogue. Starring Rudolph Valentino, this scene has become an iconic early example of tango on film. Remember that brilliant Gene Wilder parody? When a woman's partner refuses to let him interrupt, Valentino's character, Julio, punches the man. Everyone is shocked for a moment. Then the band goes right on playing. Julio and the woman, played by Beatriz Dominguez, proceed to perform a sultry tango that ends in a well-deserved round of applause. We doubt any other dance would have quite the same effect. Number 10, Tango with Intensity, Love and Dance. In another scene containing no dialogue at all, the focus is entirely on the sound. Here, each thing we hear has a purpose, from steps as they touch the hardwood to the music itself. On the whole, the auditory elements combine, accentuating the number's sheer intensity. Not just that, we're directed to the drama and fluidity of the dancers' strikingly precise movements, and there's not a whole lot like it. Every eye in the room is glued to the two performers. Although this Polish movie is filled with striking and memorable dance sequences, this tango is the ultimate showstopper. Number 9, A Disarming Dance, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. The tango is pretty intense under normal circumstances. Now, imagine that you're dancing while your partner might be trying to kill you, for fictional story purposes, of course.
Satisfied?
Not for years.
Now that Mr. and Mrs. Smith's secret has been revealed and each knows the other is a contract killer, the targets are on their own backs. As they dance, the animosity begins to come out, along with a collection of hidden weapons.
I have a theory. Newly formed.
I'm breathless to hear it.
You killed us.
Provocative.
You approached our marriage like a job, something to be recon planned and executed.
Yet they're obviously trying to hide the fact that they still have feelings for each other too. The result is deeply engrossing.
What do you care if I was just a cover?
Who said you were just a cover?
Wasn't I?
Wasn't I?
It's clear this is exactly the passion they need to channel into their marriage to work things out. Number 8. Creepy and kooky tango. Adams' family values. The Adamses have a knack for creating memorable dance scenes. Although Gomez and Morticia clearly like to mix things up, we have to assume the tango is one of their favourites. It's certainly one of ours. Naturally sensual and filled with intensity, it's practically made for these two passionate and devoted lovers. From knife throwing to setting the floor on fire, their magnetic performance is half dance, half stage show. No wonder their finale brings the house down. As usual, Mr. and Mrs. Adams are relationship goals. And did you notice what tune they're tangoing to? Number 7. Por una cabeza, Scent of a Woman. Frank went blind after an incident with some grenades, and he's trying to process that. But he's still able to dance and charm the heck out of anyone with his stellar moves. As he teaches this nervous young woman to tango, his young companion Charlie looks on, and hopefully learns a thing or two. This routine would be impressive no matter who was performing it, but Tangoing Blind takes some serious skill. The level of technical prowess, as well as the energy and emotion emanating from the scene, is next level. It arguably marks the beginning of Frank's realization that life still holds some pleasures for him. Number 6. Tango for the Winner, Frida. Her life is filled with passion. For men, for women, for art, and for her music. In a dim and smoky bar, a political argument heats up between David and Diego, so the beautiful Tina diffuses the tension with a challenge.
Basta. Whoever takes the biggest swig can dance with me.
Not to be outdone by the men, Frida proves she's easily a match for them, in drinking and in dancing. Her and Tina's moves become gradually faster and more fervent, culminating in a kiss that brings applause from the whole crowd, and all of us watching. We can't help but wonder what Frida's partner Diego is thinking throughout this sexy display. Number 5. After Hours Lesson, Shall We Dance? Although dance lessons begin as a pretense for John to spend time with a woman who caught his eye, they soon spark something inside him that he didn't know was there. There is no romance between these two characters, but you'd never know it watching them dance. As Paulina teaches John to loosen up and dance with fluidity, they both pour their hearts into the moves. Set to a modern soundtrack, the scene reminds us that tango is both traditional and contemporary, and it has the ability to reignite passion in a life that seems to have none left. Number 4. La Cumbresita Tango. There seems to be a pattern of movie characters who are struggling using dance, especially tango, to bring excitement back into their lives. This is the case with Mario, a stage director who uses his musical about tango to rediscover himself after the end of a turbulent relationship. Fortunately, he's surrounded by incredible dancers who can easily distract him from his real-life problems. In this scene, the on-stage audience is captivated, never taking their eyes off the dancers. The performance becomes more and more complex and showy, and the backdrop of the sunset seems to represent the fiery nature of the dance. Number 3. El Tango de Roxanne, Moulin Rouge. Set to a dramatised version of a modern pop song, this dance tells a story within a story.
Walk the streets for money. You don't care if it's wrong or if it is right. Roxanne.
Christian's true love, Satine, is a courtesan, and she must appease the wealthy duke. But as the song reveals, the jealousy drives Christian mad. As he obsesses over what is happening behind closed doors, the dancers act out the reality of love with a woman of the night. She bounces from partner to partner, and the scene devolves into pandemonium, with the woman seemingly meeting a tragic end. It's loud and chaotic, just like the emotions of its main characters. Of course, that's precisely what makes it a tango to remember. Number 2. Detention Tango, Take the Lead. When Antonio Banderas tangos, people take notice. Even these high schoolers who are stuck in detention. In this dark school basement, and with the help of his partner Morgan, his character Pierre delivers a tango that's so steamy we don't even have words to describe it. It leaves his audience speechless. Against all odds, it convinces them to take ballroom dancing seriously, and one need only watch the routine once to understand why. Needless to say, if Banderas showed up and offered to teach us to tango like that, the answer would be a resounding yes. Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honourable mentions. The final dance, Assassination Tango. The allure of the tango can touch even the heart of a hitman. Dancing with Mina, Dracula, Dead and Loving It. It turns out Dracula has moves.
They're loving it.
Oh,
yes! James Bond Tango, Never Say Never Again. Who said spies don't know how to have a good time?
Did you know that your brother was working for Largo?
That's impossible. Jack is in the U.S. Air Force.
That's precisely why Largo used him.
Masquerade Tango, Step Up 3D. This sexy group dance is worth crushing a party for.
Can't you see what happens when you see you can't just play with people's feelings?
Undercover Routine, True Lies. An effective distraction during a covert operation. Before
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Cell Block Tango, Chicago. He had it coming. That's the motto of the 6 Merry Murderesses, as each tells the story of how she ended up behind bars.
He had it coming, Lot 6. He had it coming, Cicero bitch. He took a vow on a rich witch rod, and then he used it, and he abused it.
From a woman who couldn't stand her husband's gum popping anymore, to another who caught her man getting intimate with her sister, their stories are sordid. Seeing them illustrate their respective situations through tango, though, is wildly engrossing.
They had it coming. 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 They had it all along. I didn't do it, but if I done it.
In a musical filled with memorable numbers, the song and dance here finds a way to stand out. Indeed, the Cell Block Tango is incredibly catchy, and the rough, even angry movements set the tone for the scene perfectly. It's both clever and fierce, just like the women at its core.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.